Hello there, Martin Unix, and welcome to this Locs maintenance tutorial. This was the state of the hair before maintenance: overgrown, tangled, and visibly weakened. Some locks had even fallen off. In this tutorial, I am revisiting a previous session to shed light on key restoration techniques, from clean sectioning and managing thinning to effective crocheting and interlocking.
If you can go back to the first video, you can see how my dreads looked before this.
I started by gently parting the roots using my pro tip comb, ensuring I respect the natural grid without causing tension. Where hairs are fused between sections, I carefully snip the stray strands with scissors, always cutting away from the scalp to avoid injury or accidental thinning. I keenly worked through the sectioning part, gently to avoid excessive breakages of the hair strands. Next, I gather loose hairs around the root and direct them back into their rightful lock. These flyaways are then crocheted into the strand, reinforcing strength and minimizing future fringes. To finish off, I palm roll each lock, not just for smoothness, but to align the hair fibers in preparation for interlocking. Having a close look, you can note that the sections are well aligned with equal portions. Have a look on both sides. Now we are at the crown, often the most delicate area. You'll notice some locks here are full and healthy, while others have thinned significantly or even detached. Now, notably, the crown area is prone to damages since it's usually too much exposed. At times you find that it's been affected by weather. It might also be affected by styling with too much tension. So it's area which has to be keenly observed. I begin by gently sectioning through the messy roots, extending the growth with care. I avoid rushing this step. Instead, I slowly pull apart the new growth to maintain length and prevent breakage before using scissors to cleanly separate any fused strands. Now, I gently start with cross examination of the two adjacent strands on matters health, and I finally decided to cut off the unhealthy strand so that I can merge the roots into the healthy lock strand. So once the section is defined, I take the loose hairs and carefully reattach to the base of the original lock. This step not only reinforces the lock's strength, but also maintains a clean, consistent pattern. Now, using my crochet hook, I rejoin the strand with firm, controlled strokes, always observing crocheting basics for a natural, secure finish. Now, to our beginners, I am adopting a dual rotational method as my crocheting technique. Now, what happens is that on this technique, you tend to rotate the lock strand in both clockwise and anti-clockwise movements while maintaining the crochet needle in a steady position. These are some of the strands I carefully extracted earlier during the repair session, and they will now be used to fill in the gaps where locks have detached. I begin by selecting a clean, well-sized section of hair in preparation for reattachment. I perfectly align the portion while parting so as to give way for that seamless sectioning. One end of the replacement strand is gently combed out to create a soft, flexible base, perfect for blending during installation. Notably, one side of this strand shows clear signs of color damage. As you can see, it's visibly thinner and weaker, likely from overprocessing during past dissection. Color-treated locks needs extra care, deep conditioning, and protein treatments to go a long way in preventing such weakening. To reattach, I wrap the section ensuring full contact and even tension. Then I crochet it securely in place, not just to hold it, but to bond it as one, bringing that lock back to life. Now I bond the two sections together by crocheting, and what basically happens whenever you're crocheting is that usually mat the hair together by creating micro loops, which are formed by pushing the crochet to and fro severally by pulling some tiny hair strands. Once you push the crochet severally, you end up closing the micro loops, hence matting the hair together. And now you can closely see the seamless neatness which has been achieved after doing the crocheting. Now I will just palm roll the strand for that neat appearance as I await the finishing kick, which will be the interlocking technique, just to hold the roots together. Next up, I am managing a common challenge: two adjacent locks that seem to be misplaced and loosely formed. I begin by gathering the fraying hairs at the base and reattaching them securely to their rightful locks. Once stabilized, I merge the two strands using a precise crocheting technique, anchoring them together from the roots upwards. Kindly consider sharing my work to your friends, like, comment, and if you are new on my channel, consider subscribing and stay locked for more tutorials to come. If you want to join my virtual classes, then reach out via the details provided in the description. As I work my way up, I assess the strength of each lock, and here is an important tip: always prioritize the healthiest strand. I trim away the weaker one, then reinforce the cut area with targeted crocheting to seal and strengthen the joint. So after crocheting, I wind up by palm rolling the lock strand just to maintain that neatness on the scalp. As usual, as we await our finishing part, which now will be the interlocking process. Now moving on to the next case, I find two poorly merged lock strands which are unhealthy, weak, and thinning. So I closely start by examining the health of the lock strands, and it goes without saying that the lock strands needs to be replaced. I carefully cut out the unhealthy strands and reattach a more solid, healthy lock extension, aligning it perfectly for both strength and aesthetic flow. Now, a point to remember is that it's not just about saving every strand. It's about preserving the long-term health and beauty of the entire lock journey. Now, to wind up, I reaffirm the fraying hairs and the loose hairs around the veins back to the main lock strand by crocheting them. Now I reach the final portion, another fallen strand that needs expert attention. I begin by combing out the veins of the healthy loc, prepping it for a clean and secure reattachment. Now, as we wind up, this is the perfect moment to share a few tips or else reiterate on the crocheting technique I have used throughout this section, just for the sake of our beginners. And I used the dual rotational method. This involves rotating the hair section both clockwise and anti-clockwise while keeping the crochet needle steady. This motion allows even matting and helps create compact, well-blended locks. When removing the hook, always slide it out gently and at the angle it went in. This avoids breaking the delicate micro loops being formed. So whenever you are taking out the crochet needle, tilt the needle in a certain angle so that the hook can get off the hair fibers. If you break the loops, you end up with flimsy loc strand. These loops are the science behind the matting. The crochet tool works by repeatedly entering and exiting the hair portion, gradually locking the fibers together with every micro loop completed. Once the strand is firmly in place, I palm roll it for divination, and as a final touch, I trim down the loc strands to a bob length to suit the client's taste, or else just as the client desires. Now, after levelizing the bob appearance, I finish off my maintenance by interlocking the roots using a three-way interlocking technique. As usual, I kick off by managing the fraying hairs around the roots before I start my interlocks. This method involves threading the loc through the root from three different directions, usually north, east, and south. It creates a triangular locking pattern that tightens the veins evenly without causing too much tension in any single direction. I chose this method because it works perfectly for this loc size, that is medium to small, where full 4-point interlocking might be excessive and 2-point might not hold long enough. The three-way technique offers a balance of strength, flexibility, and longevity, keeping the roots neat while still allowing natural movement. It's especially beneficial for clients with active lifestyle or slower growing hair, as it holds up beautifully between retightening sessions. And with that, the maintenance is complete, a perfect blend of precision sectioning, careful crocheting, strategic reattachments, and a strong three-way interlocking finish. The results speak for themselves. Neat, healthy locks, and a radiant smile from the client that reflects the transformation. If you would like to master these professional techniques, from restoring thinning locks to achieving clean, lasting maintenance, join my virtual classes for in-depth hands-on tuition. The full journey awaits you. Thank you for watching my tutorial to the end. I hope the tutorial was quite informative to our beginners as well as to our pro stylists. Consider liking my work, comment positively, share to your friends, and if you are new on my channel, consider subscribing. Thank you and stay blessed. This is the final outlook, and the smile from our client speaks volumes. So you can have some few remarks from our model.
Honestly, I feel like a new person. I never thought my dreads would look this good ever. This is truly amazing. If you can go back to the first video, you can see how my dreads looked before this. It's very transformative, honestly. Thank you. If you want to look amazing like me, keep the bookings coming.
Now, this was your favorite loctician, Martin Unix. Try my level best to get you informed on matters locs maintenance. Stay blessed.